Good day to the panel judges, lecturers, and also my audience. Today, I would like to present regarding my final year project which titles Optimize Productivity Through Overall Equipment Effectiveness in Food and Beverage Industry. Before I continue any further, I would like to introduce myself. My name is RAJADORAI. I'm from BMMW 1S1 and my supervisor for this project is Dr. Ame Hamza. The following are my project outlines. Firstly, we will start with introduction where we will know the work progress, K chart, and the objectives of our project. Then, 2-hour literature review, followed by the methodology of the project. Then we see our results for the project, and finally the conclusion that we can give out about the project. Okay, first up is the introduction. We can see our Gantt chart for the final year project 1 and 2 together with their progress. Then we move on to our research problem statement, research question, and objective. As we can see in today's manufacturing companies, the main problem is that the production is unstable and they could not identify the bottleneck equipment. Based on this, I have made 3 objectives for my project, which is to identify the factors affecting the productivity in the manufacturing industry, measuring the equipment effectiveness using OEE, and proposing action of improvement for the equipment. Besides that, this is a chart where the process flow of the project is shown here. It started with defining the project which optimize productivity through OEE. Then, the type of sector will be manufacturing sector, followed by the process, which is production. The factor that will be focused is the machine, and the selected machine is the boiler which is found in the selected company. Then, the data is measurable data from the operation, which obtained from management by interview and case study using the OEE method of calculation and solving. Next is the literature review. The following is the sample of journal and articles that I have used for this project. In order to conduct the project, I have created design of study for flow process of fulfilling the objective. First, my research approach is done by defining the quantitative and qualitative research. Firstly, the process of qualitative research is done by identifying and verification. The identification of factors affecting the productivity is done by finding on to the literature reviews, which is using the journals. The second is verification, which consists of primary and secondary data. The primary data is done by getting onto production details through interview and also quantitative data collection such as maintenance report. Through it, then the measure of efficiency is identified. Then through validation, the case study is done to propose improvement based on the results. As you can see here, this is the flowchart of the study. It starts with identifying the research problem and setting up the objective. Then using the literature review, first identify the factors affecting production. Then, if it's enough, we move on to data collection such as interview, photo capture, and also reports such as the quantitative values. Then, using them, we derive the OEE formula and measure the efficiency of equipment. Next, we then view the results and analyze them for proposal for improving the given propose the improvement is given by determining the root cause with the fishbone diagram and also YY analysis. Finally, we conclude the project by stating the contribution and suggestion for future improvement. The results of my project begin with the company profile. As mentioned, this is a food and beverage company which was established in 2006. The main product is soya and sour plum bottled drinks. Their customers are local and Asian countries such as Indonesia and Thailand. The following is the company's layout. There are two types of data collection which are primary and secondary data. In primary, we can see that the data is obtained from the company. These are the flowchart of soya making process from raw material till it's cooked under the steam pressure of the boiler. Soya liquid is then bottled, detoxified and packed for delivery. The image next to the flowchart is the selected equipment, which is the vertical 1-through type steam boiler, which has a capacity of 142 PSI with maximum temperature capacity of 180 degrees Celsius. Next are the secondary data. In here, first, the factor affecting the production is identified using the literature review. Based on it is proven that 50% is due to machine, followed by method of work process, and finally by man, or which is known as the workers. The data next to it is the raw data, which is the data of input and output production of the company. The data collected is for 30 days. This is based on the maintenance report and other reports such as the company production report. Next, these data are collected using the These data are calculated using the OEE formula to determine the availability, performance, and quality of equipment. Then finally, knowing the OEE rate for 30 individual days. The overall availability, performance, quality, and OEE rate of 30 days is calculated. The graph there shows the OEE value for 30 days being compared to the world-class rates. As we can see here, the company selected did not achieve world-class level where the OEE rate for overall 30 days was averaged at 51%. In this slide, the graph is presented on the left is the average availability, performance and quality rate being compared to the world-class rate. On the right, shows the overall OEE rate graph compared to the world-class rate. Based on this graph, it is clear that the performance of equipment has achieved the world-class state. The quality of the equipment is slightly lower than the world-class, but it's still considered a good rate. However, the availability of the machine is as low as 52%. This proves that the most affected area of the machine is the availability rate. Based on the results, the root cause is determined by using quality tool. The first tool used is the fishbone diagram. The root cause is determined using the 4 factors which mentioned earlier, which is the 4M. where man, machine, method, and material are becoming the factors. Based on this, machine's main root cause for the delay is the production. For the production is due to machine stop during the production, and delivery time of production is delayed due to long time of fixing. Next, in method, the manufacturing process is not done properly as the machine is down more often and there are no other alternatives available. Then, they are waiting for the machine to be fixed is because that there are no person in charge available for it to be fixed. The material is neglected in this factor affecting the delay of production because that based on the literature review, the most affected factors are the machine, followed by method, and then the workers. Next, in YY analysis, we determine more the root cause for the delay and the machine based from the initial findings of the fishbone diagram. Hence, the selected factors such as machine, method, and man are listed with their problems, which is the initial findings of the fishbone diagram. In machine, the boiler, which is the equipment selected, often stops because there are leakage in the tubes of the boiler which flows the water. This is because that the boiler is too old to be used. Then in method, the cooking and detoxification process is not done properly because that those machines are needed to be supported by the boiler as the pressure level given by the boiler is uneven, causing there is no other method for detoxification or cooking process to be conducted. Finally, the workers causing delay is because that when the boiler is down, they depend on a third party to fix the boiler as they workers who works in the company are not experienced nor knowledgeable to fix the boiler. Hence, based on these root causes identified from the YY analysis, now suggestions are given as proposal for improvement of the selected equipment in this project. First, the machine is said to be too old to perform the task, as there are leaks around the inner walls of the boiler. The suggestion given for this problem is that the best is to replace the boiler itself for a higher capacity. This may cost as investment, but it also avoids the current defect cost made due to the boiler down during the production process. Another suggestion is that to replace the tubes which flows the water with a new tubes for the boiler to function. If it still costs expensive, then the affected tubes are only replaced to avoid bigger investments. The following image on the left shows the tube which causes the leaks in the boiler. Next, for the method, there are no other alternative ways to produce the final product and the boiler especially when the boiler breaks down. The suggested way to overcome this is either by separating the manufacturing process, which means there are separate boilers for the process, one for the cooking process while the other is for detoxification process, instead of relying on a single boiler. At the same time, there also should be regular maintenance for the boiler to ensure it runs smoothly. The following image on the right shows the method of having separate boilers. It is either have one boiler for one process or the boilers are connected to one another. In case one of them is down, the other can support the process. This is because that the cooking and detoxification process occurs at different time phase. Hence, this is the having of separate boiler usage at different times. Finally, for the worker who having to depend on third party to fix the boiler as they are inexperienced or not certified, they either required to gain boiler certificate to fix by joining or having training center, or hire someone with proper qualification to handle such equipment. As a conclusion of this project is able to fulfill the objective mentioned, which is the able to identify the factors affecting the productivity of manufacturing process, then the effective of the equipment is measured using OEE, and finally to be able to suggest improvement based on the root cause by YY analysis and fishbone diet analysis. For the future research suggestion is that the suggested method for improvement is implemented and then OEE result is measured again. In this way, OEE result of the current status and the changes made results can be compared to prove that the method which have been suggested is able to improve the availability rate of the equipment. Once again, thank you for listening to my project briefing. I hope this project presentation satisfies the panel, lecturer, and also the audience. Thank you. Good day, everyone.